Edward Gibbon wrote the 6-book series The Fall and Decline of the Roman Empire. In Book 1, he discusses the rise of Christianity and the things he believes led to its rise. This is part 5 of this series. The fifth and final reason that Gibbon wrote about was the union and discipline of the Christian Republic, which gradually formed an independent and increasing state in the heart of the Roman Empire. If you read in the New Testament, especially after the 4 Gospels, there is a lot of Paul and the disciples walking and talking to the different churches they established, trying to ensure there is a cohesive doctrine of the faith. Sometimes the congregations go astray, and Paul has to write another letter to them. There is a good emphasis on organization and of orthodoxy. The biggest reason for this need to focus on organization and orthodoxy was due to distance, and I believe cohesion. The early church knew that it needed to stick together, and could not afford to be torn apart by internal struggles. There were a lot of different early sects of Christianity, and they argued a lot about the nuances of the new faith, and which beliefs would take precedence over others. Each major city had a bishop, which would be the leader of the faith in that city. And each town had their own leader of the faith as well. If these church leaders spoke to each other and worked together, then they could ensure that the same message was getting out to all the churches. In Will Durant's book, Caesar and Christ, states something similar to Gibbon when talking about the early church heresies. Says, "The church overcame them by its superior organization, its doctrinal tenacity, and its better understanding of the ways and needs of men." What is being discussed here is really that the early Christians created a parallel society. In this parallel society, the Christians followed their own ethical standards, cared for and looked out for each other. In this parallel society, they didn't break the rules of the Roman Empire, but they quietly lived by their own rules and worked to make a tight-knit community across a large geographic area. The letters of Paul to different churches, it seems to me, had an influence on the Americans before the American Revolution. Samuel Adams and others set up a committee of correspondence. They wrote leaders in different towns about freedom, liberty, organization, and unity. The committee grew, and most towns had them. In linking themselves together with similar ideas, they were able to connect and feel a sense of brotherhood that was needed when war started. If we want to accomplish anything worthy in life, organization will be key. Making sure people understand the importance of sticking together, being a community, always helping each other out. Understanding that as part of a group you need to uphold a certain standard. A small organized group can be more impactful than a multitude of unorganized people who feel similarly but never express it. Try as much as possible to organize and build yourself a community you can depend on. Make it as local as possible, have local friends you can count on, and push each other to be the best people you can be. Then use that community to help those in need. If there are already things like that in existence, help them out. Volunteer for them, make connections that way as well. Find or build your tribe, then organize to do the most good possible.